welcome back into what I watched in February. Guys, thank you so much for coming back and checking out this video. It is something that I actually enjoy doing. I like keeping track of the movies I watch each month and talking about them with you guys. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So first thing we're going to talk about is a bunch of Sundance movies. And the first one is At the Ready, a documentary about kids in law enforcement programs on the border. I really enjoyed this one, and the thing I really like about it is the subjects they follow. They follow actual kids within the program, and over about a year's time, we get to learn about, what they like, what they don't like. We get to see things play out in real life society and see their reactions, and that was something that I think really was great. I really enjoyed this one and would recommend it to anyone that sees it. Then I watched Together. This one stars the Nard Dog himself, and I found it actually very enjoyable and very cute. Now, it is different because it's a different type of rom-com, but I ended up really loving the relationship. I was rooting for it. I wanted it. And yeah, the ending's a bit abrupt, but I actually really ended up enjoying it and would also recommend this one as well. Then we got Land, the directorial debut from Robin Wright, and it's pretty good. I mean, she brings what I would say is one of the best atmospheres in film that I've seen in a long time. The cinematography is gorgeous, the sound design's fantastic, and in the end, this film is about companionship, acceptance, and grief. And the companionship she has with her best friend that she makes in this movie is both amazing and tragic at the end. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. You guys should go see it. It's out in theaters now, and I would highly recommend it. Then we got Prisoners of the Ghostland. Oh, God. Nicolas Cage, what have you done? It's okay. The writing's a bit lackluster. I was never really drawn to the story or the characters, but Nicolas Cage is absolutely ridiculous in this film. And yeah, I'm just going to move on. Then we have Night of the Kings, a film that has grown on me a little bit as I've thought about it, but there are still issues for me in the storytelling. There's things I don't understand. It's a little confusing. While it's shot very well, while the themes of story and words and the effect that they have on people is really resounding, and I did enjoy that, there are things that still left me confused. I wanted more, but not in the way where I wanted more runtime, because it did drag. There were some pacing issues. If you want to see this, I would recommend it, but for me, it was okay. Then we got Passing, a film that just got picked up by Netflix starring Ruth Negga and Tessa Thompson. It was okay. The first half I loved. I really dug it. I really saw what they were going for, and I wanted it. The second half has a complete tonal shift. We don't finish any of the meaningful conversations that were started at the beginning of the film. It really just turns into kind of a pity party for our main character. And, some people, I've seen some other people's reviews and I can understand their point of views, but for me, it just didn't really work that well. Then we got Mass, by far my favorite film of Sundance and by far my favorite film of this year. I mean, Jason Isaacs, I've said this, I said this in my review. If he doesn't win an Oscar next year for Best Supporting Actor, I don't know what the Academy is doing. The performances in here are fantastic. The writing and directing are top notch, and it's a directorial debut, by the way, I might add. We're in a very bland background, a very bland setting, and there's not a lot of action going on, but you're so captivated by the conversation that is happening, and that has to do with the writing, because it's a very uncomfortable topic to talk about, but you cannot take your eyes off the screen. Absolutely fantastic. This is the movie that I would recommend the highest of any on this list. It is brilliant, and when it comes out, you need to see it. Then we have The World to Come, and talk about a snooze fest. I wanted to like this movie. It's got a great cast: Vanessa Kirby, Christopher Abbott, Casey Affleck, but it was a snooze fest. I wanted to care about the relationship, and I was left not caring at all. It felt like it was 4.5 hours long. And as much as I wanted to like it, it just killed me because, oh my God, the biggest disappointment of Sundance. If you want to check it out, the performances are okay, but prepare yourself because it's a long movie. Then we got Mayday, a really interesting, euphoric experience that I don't think I've ever witnessed in a film before. You've got some okay performances, and you've got some nice direction, but that's kind of where it goes for me. There's some themes that I like, but there are also some themes that I wasn't the biggest fan of. It's run-of-the-mill, it's okay, there wasn't anything that really knocked my socks off, but I liked it for what it was. It was okay, not too bad. Then probably the second film I would recommend on this list, Judas and the Black Messiah. I mean, Daniel Kaluuya, you're winning an Oscar this year. I almost guarantee it. Film is absolutely fantastic. Like I said, Kaluuya is great. Lakeith Stanfield is fantastic. The entire cast is great. Jesse Plemons is amazing as well. The writing is pretty top-notch. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I was locked in throughout. Shaka King gives fantastic direction. Very emotional. Very, it just hit. And it's very important. It's a very important conversation, a very important film to show. And I really recommend it. It's pretty good, and one of the best I saw at Sundance. Then we're going to do a quick fire of a few short films I saw at Sundance. There is 4. The first one is This Is the Way We Rise, about a topic I didn't really know, about slam poetry, about the importance of word, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I believe it is on the New York Times. I would highly recommend it, and go check it out. Then we got Trepanation, probably the film I disliked the most on this list. I don't know what it was really going for. I was lost, felt like I wasted 7 minutes of my life. The animation was okay, but it didn't do anything for me. Then we have Tears Teacher, another film from the New York Times that I would highly recommend. It is about a subject I never really knew about, but a subject that is very important because crying has the stigma of weakness, and it shouldn't because it's got a lot of health benefits, and this short documentary shows us that. And honestly, I wish it was longer. Then we got Flex, a film that I don't really know what it was. It's got a really awesome Thor and Zeus joke in it. I'll give it props for that, but that's kind of as far as I'll go because I just didn't really know what was going on. Then we have Malcolm and Marie, probably the most divisive movie on this list. Actually, I take that back because there's a few further down on the list that are pretty divisive as well, but I really liked it. I like the direction. I think John David Washington and Zendaya are fantastic. I understand some of the writing flaws, and that's why it's not a 5 out of 5. I believe I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. There are issues, but overall, I mean, I was roped in. I was invested, and I really respect it and liked it, and I personally would recommend it. We're going to do another quick fire with 3 movies here. 3 Pirates of the Caribbean. I finally finished that marathon. We've got At World's End, by far my favorite movie in this franchise. I mean, the third act fight alone is worth the price of admission, plus popcorn, plus a drink. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. We get the ending of this trilogy. We have amazing, heartbreaking sacrifices, and it's just chef's kiss, absolutely fantastic. Then we have Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. By far my least favorite of the entire franchise. The whole mermaid romance arc didn't need to be there. The Spanish were hyped up to be some big old badasses, and they kind of just showed up and didn't really do anything. There was a lot that was promised. We weren't given all of it. And getting away from the main cast, while you got Barbossa in there and Jack Sparrow, that's kind of it. And straying away from that cast, they shouldn't have done that. Going to the Fountain of Youth is cool, but we need some of the main characters there as well. Then we have Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. A lot of people hate this movie. I actually kind of enjoy it. Now, it is still number 4 on my ranking, but there are things I like about it. I think Javier Bardem is great as the villain. I love how it is associated with Will Turner and his kid. I mean, the sacrifice of Barbossa, it's all fantastic. And the way it ends is a perfect knot, tying up the bow to finish out this series, because there are more Pirates of the Caribbean movies that will come out in the future, but it's not going to feature our main cast. They are done, and as bittersweet as it is, it was probably time. Then on Valentine's Day of all days, I saw Sleepless in Seattle for the first time, and I was invested. I really enjoyed it. Tom Hanks is the man. He makes a grown man like myself cry. He did, shed a few tears. And it just was good. I mean, yes, it follows some of the rom-com tropes, but for a film like this, I don't care. I really liked the storyline. I thought the story was actually very intriguing and very funny. The performances are pretty good. I like the way they show passage of time and location changes with the map. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I kind of got a kick out of that. And it was fun. I would recommend it. Oh boy, we're back with Nick Cage again. Then we got Willy's Wonderland. Oh man, it's better than Prisoners of the Ghostland, and it's actually really fun. I'm not gonna lie. Going in basically to a Chuck E. Cheese with possessed Chuckies and the cheese. It's fantastic. Nicolas Cage doesn't say a single word in this film, and I love it. And go check out my review. That's all I'm gonna say. It's absolutely fantastic. Then we have Minari, one of the films that is up for Best Picture this year. A lot of people say it's one of the best movies of the year, and I would tend to agree. It is absolutely fantastic. A great ensemble cast performance in general. I mean, the entire cast shines in this film. The storytelling is great. I love the heart that's in this film. It's heartbreaking. It's hopeful. There are some parts in the writing that I'm not the biggest fan of, but I will let that slide because overall it is a really great American film. I'm going to push that home. Golden Globes, what are you doing? That's all I'm going to say. Then we go to Nomadland, another one of the best movies I saw this month. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. Frances McDormand is great. Chloe Zhao's direction is so amazing and perfect. I am so looking forward to the Eternals. It's not even funny. This is a very nice time, but also healing and cleansing time. It's about grief. That's what this film is about. The decision to have most of our supporting cast be regular people minding their own business was fantastic because we had real stories. It felt authentic, and I really, really loved it. All right, time to get a little controversial. We've got I Care a Lot. Rosamund Pike is fantastic. Peter Dinklage is really good as well. I like a lot of this story. It's very Adam McKay-esque, and I love me some Adam McKay. Now, the third act goes in a route that I'm not the biggest fan of, but the first two acts are so good. The ending is absolutely fantastic. I will let it slide on some of it. It's not the best movie ever. It's not perfect, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Then we have The Dig. I finally saw The Dig, and Ray Fiennes, Carey Mulligan, fantastic performances. A great based on true story. Very emotional, very heartbreaking, and I dug it. Oh, that was a nice pun we got going there. But overall, it was a relatively enjoyable time. The runtime actually kind of flew by. It's a relatively longer film. The runtime actually kind of ran, and I really liked that. And then we got Cherry. Back to the controversial, but I really liked it. Tom Holland gives, I would say, a career best performance. The rest of the cast is fantastic. The Russo brothers do a really good job directing here, making something unique, something we've never seen before. And the storytelling. I like how the story is told. Now, there are some things I don't like. It is long. It is slow. There are clear pacing issues, but I gotta look at the positive, and it's a good movie for what it is, and I enjoyed it. Then we have Welcome to Collinwood, another film by the Russo brothers that I actually kind of enjoyed. It's about a group of misfits that are idiots and try to pull off a robbery. That's kind of all I really want to tell you guys. It's got some great cameos. It's got a great performance by Sam Rockwell. And I think I'm going to let it lie there because I kind of want you guys to go check it out for yourself. It's actually kind of a fun time. And then to round it out this month, we have You, Me, and Dupree. A really fun performance by Owen Wilson, which is actually surprising. I wasn't expecting it. You feel the runtime. It has a lot of the basic rom-com tropes, but it's still kind of cute. I enjoyed aspects of it, and Owen Wilson's actually pretty good. I had an okay time with it. And guys, that is it for what I watched in February. Go check out my website, FinaticFilmReview.com. Go follow me on Twitter, and go check out some of my longer reviews of some of the films I talked about this month. But guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, and have a great rest of your day.